in the sense that we had an office space for free, obviously, and we started to register the company. So as of October 2016 is when we officially registered as a company in India. Yeah.
Now, what was the first concrete step that you take? Did you make a prototype first? Did you get customers first?
We made a PowerPoint first.
Okay, good. Very
always, right? So we had to validate our thought before we went doing prototyping. Basically, that was the idea. So we between, I would say, let's say July or August until even like January, we were just talking to customers, like prospects.
Fantastic.
Like LinkedIn, cold calling, whatever, right? I mean, network. So we would have spoken to about 50 customers. Yeah. So and that was and we got a very good sense that we are. I mean, it's a real need, and we are. I think we could have a very good product at our hands. So and at that point in time, we started the prototyping piece.
So was there a specific conversation that said, okay, now it's time to just go build a prototype?
Yeah. I mean, so we did a lot of research around the market, and the PowerPoint we put together was actually telling them that we already have a solution, right? That's how startups work, right? You tell them that you have a solution in hand already, even if you don't, and then put it in front of them and check with them whether, they would buy that. And most of them said, yeah, they will. So yeah, that was a good initial validation for us.
And what were you pitching them? What was the actual idea that you were pitching?
Oh yeah, so what we were pitching to them at that time was basically helping them improve their cold chains. So we would go to the pharma company and tell them, hey, you have so many compliance issues. Here are the things that we can do for you. We can help you monitor your cold chain end to end.
Now, I want give me some details. How do you monitor a cold chain?
Yeah. So like, for example, if somebody's moving a set of vaccines, right, from point A to point B in India, they would want to real time know the temperature of that particular box because it is got vaccine and it should be only between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius.
So back before TagBox was created, how were they monitoring?
They were doing it with something called data loggers. They were passive devices. You put them into the box, it keeps recording data, and at the end of the trip, you take it out, you put it into a computer, the PDF report gets generated, and then you look at the PDF report and see if any issues happen.
So there's a big lag time.
It's like, it's not digital. The PDF could be lost. It could be stored in a Google Drive junk, and and it never recover it. There are a lot of issues with that. And what we were proposing is that real time or quasi real time data for monitoring your supply chain. Not just that, I mean, obviously the product has evolved over time, but that was our initial value proposition. And doing this for not just in transit, but also doing it in storage. Like, for example, in your freezers and refrigerators, where the product is stored before it is dispatched.
So tell me about your first prototype.
Which didn't work.
I love it. I want the story.
So the funny part was, so this was our first, we were doing a lot of partnerships with IT services companies. So there was a company called Mindtree, and so with them they said, hey, they liked what we were pitching, and they said, hey, we have a innovation day coming up at Unilever. Do you guys want to participate with us in our booth? And of course, like, which startup says no, right? And we did, and we had to create a prototype for them. The day before we were supposed to demo, nothing worked. Okay, like nothing worked. The monitoring didn't work. We had alerts and notifications, they didn't work. And pretty much overnight, we had to solve the problem. And then we were in that innovation booth, and obviously there were a lot of, back-end fixes that we would keep doing for the system to work. We literally had a guy sitting at the back, refreshing the database again and again, making sure that, yeah, exactly.
Kind of
and then it worked though. After that, it did work. And
did you get customers from that first?
We get a lot of I think all this was just validation, right? So Unilever you can't get from a demo for sure, but we got a lot of good feedback on how we should think about the product. What are the different other additions you need to have or features you need to add to the product to make it viable? So so we did that, and then
there was a cold storage prototype.
Cold storage and even for supply
chain. So you were doing what were you reading? Temperature only?
Primarily, and energy actually, like power consumption, energy consumption.
Why is that important?
For refrigerators, like in a cold chain setup, energy is one of the biggest expenses that you'll have because you're constantly running your refrigerators and this. So you want to make sure that your freezers and all of that are running optimally. So that's
So you're not wasting money.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you said you didn't get any customers, but
At that time, no. So now we were in a very interesting spot. So we had a lot of. I mean, we started some POCs though, proof of concepts, with some customers in India.
okay.
Like Danone, like from dairy perspective. We were working with Future Group, which is one of the largest, actually the largest retailer in India, and so on. So we had a few of those going. But then we realized that to actually develop a product which works and is world class, we need money.
Yeah.
Right? We can't really do it with peanuts.
Well, so were the customers, potential customers, saying like, okay, when's it going to be ready?
Yeah, of course. So we were doing proof of concept with whatever we had already. So we were already doing that, but it was not good enough. It was just like scratching the surface.